Tonight we'll see and hear firsthand
This kind of sound. Let's hear the rest of it.
And what does it mean to be relational? It means that you relate to people, you interact with people, you rub shoulders with people. God is relational. He created everything in relationship. Nothing exists by itself. And I don't think that's by accident that God has given us children. In fact, as relational as God is, I think that's by design. You know, most religions have a problem with Christianity because we consider God our Father. They say, how dare you attribute earthly characteristics to an infinite and eternal God? You don't know what his characteristics are. I think they got it backwards. We aren't attributing our characteristics to God. He's attributing his characteristics to us. Just as marriage points to the relationship between Christ and the church, parenthood and childhood points to the relationship between mankind and God the Father. Hebrews chapter 12, we're going to start in verse 7. It says, if you endure chastening, chastening is disciplining, God deals with you as with sons. For what son is there whom a father does not chasten? But if you are without chastening, of which all have become partakers, then you are illegitimate and not sons. Furthermore, we have had human fathers who corrected us, and we paid them respect. Shall we not much more readily be in subjection to the Father of spirits and live, that we may be partakers of his holiness? Now, no chastening seems to be joyful for the present, but painful. Nevertheless, afterward, it yields the peaceable fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. You may not appreciate it right now. I never once during a whooping said to my parents, you know what, this is good for me, thank you. You're not supposed to enjoy it. You need it though. The purpose of the chastening of God is not so we can finally have what our heart is set on. It's so that God can give us what his heart is set on. He wants us to be in communion with him. He wants us to have the knowledge of who he is and how he loves us. He wants to give us his holiness. He wants to give us humility. He wants to give us understanding. And he wants us to have his love. These are things that we should have. We should aspire to them. You might go through something and then come out on the other side of it and think, well, what was that for? And then you get to a moment and you look back over the course of 15 years and you see every single step along the way has led up to this moment, and all of a sudden you realize that you've been shaped through this gauntlet. You've been trained, and it has produced in you the peaceable fruit of righteousness that you would not have obtained if you hadn't gone through that long circuit of training. You will look up one day and look back and see that God has been faithful, and he's working you out. He's got you in the gym and he's saying one more set, and you don't want to do it. Put it up one more time. Come on. He's building something in you. God's wisdom far exceeds our comprehension. God uses our every experience to commune with us. And I tell you this, you got to hang in there. You can't be discouraged. You can't give up. You can't walk away from this thing. You hang in there. He's bringing you along.